Hello and welcome back to the Beginner Team Sonic LTS tutorial. Today's stage is Bingo Highway. Nobody likes this stage. I wouldn't mind if it was removed from the game, but alas, it's part of the story, so there's nothing we can do. Before we start, remember to watch Aura's explanation on pinball mechanics. The link is in the description. Let's dive in. Move your way around this table and head to the left half pipe. If all three of your teammates fall through, you can get an easy homing attack onto this flapper to one-shot him, immediately opening the door. Glide your way up this fan and break the glass with Fire Dunk as Knuckles. Buffer a character switch to Tails, as we'll need him to fly through this upcoming gap. Make sure to grab this checkpoint as Knuckles, as we'll need his level 2 for later if you're not going for the door clip. Punch this gong and buffer a character switch to Sonic. Take the path I take on screen and just avoid any bumpers that are in the way. If you see that one of your teammates is pulled ahead, you should switch to them and carry on with the table. Time for the Table of Doom. It's really hard to go through this table quickly, but I'll give you a few tips to make it easier. First of all, the flipper tech is going to be very useful this time, so I personally recommend holding the A button for most of the time you're on the table, just so you're always ready to use the tech whenever. Second of all, don't try to be impatient with the flipper tech. Make sure Sonic is near the end of the flipper, as that's going to give him more speed when you do the tech. Now let's get on with the strats. Our goal is to get this flipper. There's 3 ways to do it. You'll either go down to this flipper, which I recommend for beginners, or you can get a speed boost off this wall to get up to the flipper. Or you can just go directly to the flipper, this being the hardest but fastest alternative, and you'll have cleared the Table of Doom. After landing on the ground, immediately kick if both your teammates are alive to make sure they don't go missing. Switch to Tails and hit this bumper to fly up to the higher ledge. If one of them is missing, don't kick. Instead, hit the bumper as Sonic and tornado this flapper. Mid-air kick across this gap and hit the checkpoint as Knuckles in case you're not going for the door clip. Buffer a switch to Tails before landing on this pinball table, as we'll need him to fly through these annoyingly placed blocks. Rocket Excel through this switch without kicking to preserve the Rocket Excel's massive hitbox. After you glide up this fan, you'll be rewarded for collecting those Knuckles level ups. Perform one combo in the center to destroy all 3 robots, and Rocket Excel the side of the cage to activate the switch and look stylish in the process. There is, however, a faster alternative that saves about 2 seconds. You can clip through this door with a double Rocket Excel and a roll, just like the one in Grand Metro. The way I personally like to set up the Rocket Excel is to hold B to roll immediately after I land on the ground, and keep holding it until my teammates are grouped up. If they take a while, I'll do a little circle around to give myself more space, but it usually doesn't take long for them to show up. I personally don't find this strat too hard, but failing it loses quite a bit of time, and sometimes the enemies can be an annoying pattern, so I wouldn't do it when starting out. Break the glass and enter the table as Knuckles. As much as I would like to talk about any cool tech you can do on this table, there really isn't anything fancy you can do. Just don't hit any of the bumpers and hope you don't fall into any of the holes. There's a kind of inconsistent strat coming up. You need to go through this upcoming section without hitting any of the walls or bumpers, so that when you get to the half pipe, you can just hold left to skip the half pipe section. One thing I do to give myself the right gravity is to intentionally bump into this wall, so I definitely recommend it. Doing this strat does guarantee that you get the breakout if you do it as Knuckles, but it can still work with other characters, and if you hit the walls, it just feels very random. If you do not break out, mash B while on the half pipe to give yourself enough speed to hit this booster, and do the breakout on the half pipe. For some reason, if you're below a certain speed threshold, pressing B gives you speed? It's not explained anywhere, so I don't know why, but it's a feature, I guess. While on this part of the stage, switch to Sonic if he's not missing, hit the spring and triangle jump across. Hit this bumper as Tails to fly up to the ledge, and hit the gong as Knuckles. This spring locks your control for quite some time, so wait to homing attack until you're at the peak of your height. fire dunk this part of the glass to break the box underneath, revealing a hidden spring. Take it as Tails and hold an up left angle to hit the bumpers. You're at the last stretch, and it's time to talk about one of the biggest time savers this category has to offer. We're going to despawn the death planes on this next pinball table to skip a large chunk of it. The way you do this is by punching his knuckles so that your teammates are in Knuckles' hands, then pressing A and X on the same frame to trick the game into thinking that Tails is the leader, while still having control of Knuckles. Enter the tube and do not let go of the stick the entire time, as for some reason, holding neutral stick warps you back to Tails. After entering the pinball table, fall through this gap and either spin the stick around or do a very wide turn on the stick to reset your gravity. You'll need to do this step because otherwise you'll keep the sloped gravity from the table and you won't make it to the ending. Fall in this direction and you should find the end of the pinball table. Enter one of those 3 pipes and make your way to the goal ring room. Buffer is switched to Knuckles so that the goal ring can spawn, and boom! You finish the stage. If you decide you don't feel comfortable doing this skip, I'll include myself going through the pinball table normally so you can see the strats I do. I strongly recommend you play this pinball table's Tails for the greater air acceleration. And I strongly recommend you consider not playing Bingo Highway if you can help it. Like, you're already here, you're already learning, you're this far in, you're not getting away from it. It's here. You're gonna have to deal with it. We could just remove the level. There's nothing stopping us. We could just mod it out. Somebody, please help. Mod it out. Please save us!